of the semi-final clash that most of the Rovers fan base has not been waiting for, but maybe about 10 people have. Maybe about 10 people have been eagerly anticipating this. We know that it's maybe getting a bit boring now doing all these quizzes in lockdown, but we've retrofitted a tournament onto this. When you won your first round match, it wasn't a first round match, was it? It was just a quiz. So
yeah, I've still got the trophy from that, and I'm holding on to that. So thank you.
So we've got Mike back, who beat, oh god, I can't even remember who it was now.
Ryan.
Ryan Hildred from Rovers Chat staff, and then Scott, who beat Glenn, was it?
Yeah.
To make it to this semi-final. The winner will play either Mark Hitchin or Jonathan Secker in the final, which will be in 4 weeks from now. That will probably be the last Blackburn Rovers trivia, because someone just told me to F off in the Facebook chat groups when I tried to promote this 15 minutes ago. So I think people are getting a bit sick of me saying that there's a quiz on. But thank you for joining us, if you are there. And as soon as it ticks through to 1:15, which I think we're on, we'll kind of start officially. So you okay, Mike, to start?
Yeah, go for it, man. Yeah.
Scott, you ready?
Yeah, go for it.
He's drinking his Yazoo, ladies and gentlemen. Scott Sumner means business. Free advertising there. I hope maybe I'll get in touch with the Yazoo people and let them know about this, and some Italian beer company. So again, we're running this for free, of course. If you do want to give anything to the Sporting Memories Foundation, I introduced it in quite a lot of depth 2 weeks ago. Basically, it's supporting people who've been diagnosed with some brain injury conditions, including Alzheimer's. Tony Parks' family support this charity, and so we wanted to do the same. It's Jack Walker's birthday today, so maybe in memory of Uncle Jack, it'd be nice if you could maybe give a couple of quid, anything, to Sporting Memories Foundation, just in recognition of this quiz. I won't push it. There's a viewer's question. If you are watching and you want to test the guys with a question, we'd love to have any questions submitted to us via the comments. If you're watching on Facebook or on Twitter or on YouTube, just use the comments there and fire us a question in. That'll be the last question of the quiz. And we'll start off with the random bag of crap, which is round number 1. I best just check with the guys. You have got pen and pencil and stuff like that. Just in case I need to check any answers as we go through. So question number 1 is, which country did Dixon Atuhu represent in international football? That wonderful Rovers player.
Legend.
Yeah, exactly. So if you've never joined us before, we go through each round one by one, and we'll give the answers at the end of each round. So you can answer away in the comments. These guys can't see them. They're just with me on Zoom, so they won't be able to see your questions. So please do answer away in the comments and have a bit of banter in there with yourselves. Question number 2, who scored the most league goals for Rovers, Colin Hendry or Jason Wilcox? There was a particularly good podcast come out in the last week or so with Jason Wilcox on it.
I agree. Very good, Andy.
Yes.
If anyone's not watched that, I think it's one of the best things which has come out in the last week. There's been so much stuff around. It's definitely worth bobbing in for. It was brilliant to have an hour with Wilcox and so many interesting stuff which I'd never heard of.
He's very candid in what he says, isn't he?
Yeah.
Speaks from the heart quite a lot, and he still refers to Blackburn as us, which as a Rovers fan is still is pleasing to hear. Okay, question number 3. Which player who played for Rovers at the time scored for England under-21s versus Italy under-21s in the opening game at the new Wembley Stadium? So it was kind of a test game that they played just before a bigger game, but He wasn't the first English player to score there, but he scored in that match. Okay, we'll move on to question 4. Which club was Ken Dalglish's last job as a manager? So which club did Ken Dalglish manage last? Presuming he doesn't go back into management at some point.
Can we say the soccer aid team? I'm sure he managed the soccer aid team recently, did he?
Yeah, he might have done. I was thinking more of an official capacity sort of professional, but...
Yeah, it could get murky if you ask about Sam Allardyce.
Question number 5. Which team did Shane Duffy score 2 own goals for before being sent off into 2016? I mean, obviously he scored them whilst he was playing for us, but which team were we playing?
Not sure we benefited tremendously from that.
No, we didn't. That's why I put scored them for. Everyone seems to remember that, but I wonder if people can remember who it was against.
I'd have personally just preferred the written transfer request if it was me.
He didn't need to force his way out, surely. That's happily gone about his merry way without doing that. Anyway, who was it against? Question number 6. Who made more Rovers League appearances, Christopher Sander or Matt Jansen?
That's a good one. I just saw Sander introducing the latest Rovers Rewind. There's a good, one of the best intros by a player trying to promote one of these.
I've not seen
matches.
That. Was it?
Yeah, it's literally funny. Just came on at 8 o'clock. He's actually wearing a Rovers shirt and he's just like building it up. I won't tell you what happened. Just legend.
What a guy.
Did you guys find out what Matt Jansen's middle name was, by the way?
Oh, I know. Yeah, it's Brooke, isn't it?
Yeah, I can't remember how it's spelt, but it's.
I think with an E on the end. Yeah.
Question number 7. So I've got a list of players there. They're in an order for a reason. I'm not going to tell you what the reason is, though. So you've just got to fill in the blank between Levin or Werner with a former Rovers player. So I guess it's kind of double-edged question in a way. What's kind of the list? If you can work out what the list is, it might help you to work out who the former Rovers player is in that list. Good to see. I don't know if any of you saw any of the Bundesliga matches this weekend. It's the first time that I've taken a real interest in the Bundesliga, to be honest. But I really enjoyed it. Got to see some live football back.
I haven't seen any of them. No.
It's weird though. It's soul sapping.
Not a fan of the no fans in the stadium, no?
Yeah, I mean, we can get used to it, but for the rest of us, not so much.
Okay, question number 8. Rovers, Leeds United, Lancashire County Cricket Club and Lancome. Lancome is a brand of something. My wife knows, but 1 second. What's Lancome? It's a makeup brand. So what links Rovers, Leeds United, Lancashire County Cricket Club and Lancome?
So she said that. I genuinely thought it was a place.
Yeah, I'd never heard of it.
I'm missing an accent on one of the letters, I know that, but I don't know how to do accents on the things.
You're good at constructing these questions. It stumped me last time, the one you put together.
Yeah, these link ones are my favourites. And move on to question 9 though. So this is 2 marks available. Which other clubs were relegated from the Premier League alongside Rovers in 2012? Not a time that we all care to remember, I know, but it's there.
Yeah, I just noticed recently that was on the 7th of May, which was the same date as we got relegated at Brentford, both on the 7th of May.
So it was a great day. And the final question in this round then. 4 marks available here, so it kind of gives you a clue as to how many players you're looking for. I want you to name the players that went to the World Cup in 2018 that played for Rovers at some point in their career. I don't think any of them were playing for us at the time. They don't need to have played any minutes at the World Cup, just be in the squads of the countries.
Is it bad that I can't remember any teams that played the World Cup in
I
2008?
know, it's like,
It was
ask me about
the
France
last one that
90,
we played.
ask me about France 98 and like, easy, but the last World Cup, no idea.
We get a point each, so that's fine. If I can cobble 2 guesses together, that'll be all right.
Yeah,
I'll be
it's a
happy
point. It's going to be a point. It's a point for each player.
I'll be happy with 2 from that, Mike.
Yeah, I'd shake hands on 1, quite frankly.
I've only got 2 down.
I bet a lot of the people are surprised that there'll be 4 former Rovers players in there.
Yeah, when I saw that, I thought this was like the trick question or something.
We'll see.
Was Scotland there? No.
that's the main thing, isn't it? Scotland. I had a question a few weeks ago on Scotland's World Cup squad '98. Anyone who's been late to the quiz, just see all 10 questions on one slide there. So we had which country did Dixon 2 represent? Who scored most league goals out of Colin Hendry or Jason Wilcox? We've had which Rovers player scored for England under 21s versus Italy in the new Wembley Stadium? Which club was Ken Dalglish's last as manager? Who did Shane Duffy score 2 on goals against in 2016? Who made more Rovers league appearances, Samba or Janssen? Fill in the blank there. Aubameyang, Lewandowski, somebody, Werner and Mario Gomez. What links Rovers, Leeds United, Lancashire CCC and Lancome? Who were relegated alongside Rovers in 2012? And name the players who played for Rovers who were in the 2018 World Cup squads. So those have been the random questions for this week. Let's find out if we've done all right with the answers. So let's start off with you, Mikey. Who did Dixon 2 who represent internationally?
I'm hoping this is right, but it was Nigeria, wasn't it?
Nigeria is correct. Scott,
Nigeria too.
Yeah. Got 33 caps for Nigeria. Who scored the most league goals, Scott, Colin Hendry or Jason Wilcox?
I was torn. Hendry scored a lot early on, so I went for Hendry in the end.
Mike?
I'm with you. I actually went Wilcox. I went the other way.
It's Colin
Close
Hendry.
there, wasn't it?
Hendry by 3.
Yeah.
He scored 12 in a season. I think it was the second season he was with us. He scored 12.
Yeah. He played up front a bit, didn't he? At the start.
Yeah, he did a bit.
I'd have chucked a coin in the air for that and just landed on whichever side I'd be happy with.
Yeah, I know.
Cool.
Who was the England under 21 player, Mike? Do you know?
I think it was Matt Derbyshire, wasn't it?
Scott?
Bentley?
Matt Derbyshire.
Oh, I was thinking of.
So Bentley did score. Yeah. Bentley was the first English player to score, but I was playing for Arsenal at the time, not Rovers. The next
it was 3-3, wasn't it? Was it 3-3 that?
3-3. The Italian lad Pazzini scored a hat trick as the first hat trick scorer at the new Wembley, and he was the first scorer as well. Ken Dalglish's last managerial role, Scott.
I said Liverpool.
Mike.
Same. Yeah, I did the same. I think he started and ended there, didn't he?
He did. He went in there after Hodgson, was it? Got fired, and then
I seem to remember him. Was he there, or he was either there or just had been appointed after we beat him 3-1 when Keane was in charge?
Yeah.
Which I'm trying to remember, of course. But
2011, yeah, start of the year. Yeah.
you get beat by Keane, you deserve to get sacked, quite frankly.
Mike, what about Shane Duffy's infamous game? Who was that against?
I've tried to erase this from my memory, but I'm pretty sure it was Cardiff.
Scott?
Yeah, Cardiff.
Yeah, Cardiff. Yeah, spot on. Samba or Janssen? Scott?
It must be Samba, I reckon. Janssen didn't play that many because of injury.
Samba's correct.
Oh, that close.
Yeah, it's quite close in the end. Did you get that, Mike?
Yep.
Yeah, nice one. Got it. And yeah, so this one was an interesting one. Mike, I'll pass this one to you. The list of people who was missing.
Okay. First thing I'd like to say is I don't like you because it was a stupid question. But I've got a funny feeling it was the list of top scorers in the Bundesliga that year, and I've got a funny feeling it was Anthony Modeste.
Spot on. Anthony Modeste. Yeah. What was stupid about that question?
It was just hard. That's all.
It couldn't have been that hard. You both got it.
Was that just 1 year, Andy, or consecutive years?
2016-17, I think, or 17-18.
Was that the year? There was a year when he just left Rovers and everyone was mocking him, and he just went and rattled off about 75 goals in one season for someone.
Yeah, this was for FC Cologne, I think. And I think, is it Cologne? He's back there now. He went to China off the back of it, earned multi-millions, went AWOL, and then was re-signed back home. So Anthony Modeste histories you get on here as well. Right, what linked these ones? Scott, you said you didn't get this one.
Well, I had a guess.
Go on.
I put a rose.
Mike?
I went for a very vague answer. Beauty product sponsorship.
It is a rose. Yeah, they all have a rose in their emblem, their badge.
I didn't realise that about Leeds, actually.
It's a white rose for Leeds. It's red for Rovers and Lancashire, obviously. And then I don't even think they have a specific colour for Lancome, but again, I might ask Ruth. Okay, who are the two teams, Mike, that got relegated alongside us?
I'm not certain, but I've got a funny feeling Wolves had the anonymous honour of being slightly worse than us.
Yeah.
And I don't know, but something's saying Bolton to me, and I don't know why.
I'm glad you said the same. Yeah, the same. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bolton and Wolves. Bolton 18th, us 19th, and Wolves 20th. Right, who've we got then for the World Cup? Scott, I'll start with you. Anybody?
Well, I got this one at the last second, and Zonzi, which is the obvious one.
And Zonzi, yeah. Mike, anybody?
Yeah, well, funny you mentioned the Scott. It was the obvious one because I didn't get that, but my brain clawed to Nikola Kalinic.
Oh, good one. Well done.
And then also, for some reason, because I was running out of time, I remember Sweden playing, so I went with both the Olsens just because I had no idea.
Okay, any others?
I put Modeste because I couldn't think of anyone else. I put Phil Jones and I put Martin Olsen.
You're going to get 3 marks then. I couldn't find... Kalinic wasn't there.
No, wasn't he not there?
I might have to check that, to be honest. I might get Dan to check it, actually. I didn't come across him, but
he was in the Euros for sure. But he got chucked out at some point, didn't he? But
yeah,
I thought that was a good shout.
Didn't he get sent home from this?
Yeah, I think he did get sent home, but in which case I would allow it. So 1, 2, 3 for Kalinic, and Scott, you got 3. You got Jones, Olsen, and Zonzi.
Yeah.
So I make that 12-11 after the first round.
Yeah, I think Scott got me on the Rose question. That was all.
Yeah. Mami Biram Diouf as well, obviously from Senegal.
We'd forgotten about him. He don't count.
So, very tight heading into the next one, and we were said pre-quiz that this could be a make or break question. Very early on to be saying that, but the match that I want you to find the Rovers team for is the starting 11 versus Manchester United on the 12th of May 1999. So, obviously, to provide some context to that, it's the match that we got. Our relegation was confirmed. So yeah, just had a 10-minute warning there, guys, for Zoom.
Okay.
So everyone at home as well, you're looking for the starting 11 here for the match in question. Like I say, it was the match that we got relegated the first time round from the Premier League in 1999. Brian Kidd is the manager. There is a couple of bonus questions as well.
All coming flooding back.
The bonus questions are: who was Rovers captain at the time on the day? And the other one was which former Blackburn Rovers player came on for United at half-time?
Hang on, what was question 12? Sorry, Andy, I'm still scribbling away here.
Yeah, sorry, it's who's captain? Who was Rovers captain that day?
Okay.
I'm going to change a couple of times here.
I've had Kalinic confirmed as a correct answer, Mike, so that's fine.
Excellent. Thanks, whoever's given me that one. Appreciate it.
It's done.
Okay, cheers, Dan.
Apparently, there's another one that I missed, and I've actually no idea who it is, even now I've been told. McLaren? An Australian striker.
Is it the little Aussie teenager?
Yeah.
Did he actually play for us, though, like in a proper match?
That can be my get out, if that's true.
Yeah, let's use that.
Thanks, Dan, for that. So hopefully everyone's doing okay on this team. Just a reminder of the supplementary questions. Who was Rovers captain on the day? And which former Blackburn Rovers player came on at half-time for Manchester United?
When you say former, was he former at that time or former now? If you know what I mean.
Yeah, both. Yeah, he'd played for us previously.
Right.
Previous to that match.
Right.
So for those of you watching, we're going to be, the Zoom will kick us out in about 6 minutes time. And we'll just log straight back in, so you won't miss anything. Right, let's cut the time there. We're going to go through these players. Mike, if you could give me a goalkeeper.
It was, I think, John Filan was the goalie.
Yeah.
Scott, a defence of some kind.
I've gone Jeff Kenner, Peacock, Daly, and Callum Davidson.
At least some of those are right, definitely. Mike, some kind of midfield.
I think I've got this right, actually, because I remember watching it. It was Gillespie, Dunn, Lee Carsley, and I think it was Jason Wilcox.
And Scott, a strike force of some description.
What do you want my midfield?
No, well, I'm just going to trust you to, when you see there is 11, just tell me how many you got.
I put Ashley Ward and Kevin Gallagher up front.
Again, you've at least got some marks there. Let's get the 11 up. You were spot on with your midfield, Mike, and your goalkeeper. So it's a question of how good you were with the rest of the team.
Just because you won't believe me.
He's going to say he's got all 11 here, right?
Nailed it.
Croft,
well done, Mikey.
Onshaw, Peacock, Davidson, Gillespie, Ward and Janssen. 11.
I couldn't. Scott, I was about to scribble down Gallagher and then had a mind blank on Janssen for some reason.
Scott, I know that you haven't got 11 here, so...
Hold on, I've got Phelan, Peacock, Davidson, Carsley, Wilcox,
and Ward.
Gillespie, and Ward. Yeah.
7. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing what you remember when you're crying, isn't it? Right.
Well done, Mikey.
Supplementary question then: who was captain? If you listen to the Jason Wilcox podcast, then you will have got this. Did you get Wilcox?
Yeah. Yeah, I put Wilcox.
No, I put Carsley.
Jason Wilcox. Carsley took over, didn't he, as captain? I think the following season.
I knew he was captain at some point. I just couldn't quite correspond it with the right period of time. Yeah.
I think he'd only signed for us halfway through that season, if I remember rightly. Might be wrong. Question 13 was, who was the former Blackburn Rovers player who came on, Mike?
Had a rumble at David May. No, I was a guess.
Yeah, it was David May.
Oh, I kept changing it and then settled on Berg, unfortunately.
It just seemed like he played for either Blackburn or United at some point throughout that period. So.
And obviously they went on to win the treble that year as well. So that's 12-8 in that round, which I make it to be 23-20 overall.
Yeah.
Let us know how you're getting on at home, what your current scores are. See if anyone's beating the lads here. It'd be difficult, but you never know. You might have someone listening who's particularly good. 23-20, then heading into the story of my life, which is careers of Blackburn Rovers players. You just got to tell me who these people are. So this person played at Liverpool, Swindon, Coventry, then Blackburn, Wigan, Portsmouth and Bolton. It's in chronological order.
Is this number 14? Sorry, just I'm getting it right.
Question 14. Question 15. This player started at Charlton, then went to Gillingham, then played for us, went on loan 3 times from us, and then went to Aberdeen, Ipswich, Cambridge, Sutton, Dartford, and back to Sutton.
Jesus.
Okay, number 16. This player started at Manchester City, went on loan to Seattle Sounders, then played for us, Bristol City, West Brom, Wycombe, Bury, and Sligo Rovers. I think I've tried to make these more difficult this week. I don't know if you can tell.
Yeah.
You've succeeded admirably.
You've been doing too well. You've been doing too well in the first 2 rounds, to be fair. So
the trick next time is to do really mediocre, and then you'll just keep it easy.
Yeah.
Question 17. Started at Partizan, then went to Saturn, then to Sporting, then to us. He's racked up the miles, this lad. Karpaty, Lviv, Vojvodina, Levidiakos, Enosis, Neon, Chavez, and Buduknost.
A massive Karpaty Lviv fan in my spare time, by the way.
I'll give you a clue for this one. He's not English.
Thank you. I thought you were going to give us something serious.
That ruins my Bradley Orr guess as well.
Wouldn't it be funny if the last one is Bradley Orr?
Please be. Just,
It's not. The final one of these then. Question 18. Started at Springvale City, then Canberra Cosmos, Carlton, Empoli, on loan at Tanana, Parma, Torino, then us, and then Melbourne. Finished it with a nice easy one though.
Easier. that Tanana threw me for a second.
You weren't thinking it was Chicho, were you?
Well, when you see that name, you think Chicho Levy.
So obviously we've just lost Zoom for a minute. We'll get the lads back in. You won't miss any questions. Hopefully they'll just sign in by themselves, but I'll just give them a reminder anyway. You back, Mikey?
Are we okay?
Yeah. Just wait for Scott.
Yeah. One of these is doing my head in, and I'm retiring after this.
Do I? Yeah, okay. Well, we'll get... Oh, there's an answer there. We'll get the answers in a second. Hopefully...
Didn't even see it, to be honest, so...
Hopefully Scott... There he is, right. We're back up to a full complement. It's annoying that with Zoom, but what can you do? They're offering it, they're giving it us for free, so...
Yeah.
You're back, Scott?
What a relief. It wasn't loading.
No, we're good. Right. Straight back on it then. Let's get the answer to question 14. He started his career at Liverpool, I believe. Mike?
Pretty sure it's David Thompson.
Scott, did you get that?
No.
No, David Thompson it was, indeed. Ooh, you got the next one for free there. Scott, did you get the next one?
Well, I had a guess at Jimmy Corbett.
It wasn't. Mike, did you get...
No.
I had a guess at absolutely no one. I completely blanked out. I had no idea.
Yeah, the famous Jason Brown, Welsh international goalkeeper. He played a lot of times for Gillingham before he came to us. I think it's easier if you've got the appearances next to it, but I've purposely cut those off to make it hard.
I kept on being distracted by the double Sutton at the bottom.
Which is completely incidental in a way, isn't it? The next one's probably the hardest one, I'd say. Anyone got a clue?
I think I've got this.
Started at Man City.
Is it by any chance, is it Nicky Reed?
It is Nicky Reed.
Well done, Mikey. I didn't even have a guess.
No, I never would have got that if I wasn't already known it. The most travelled footballer, it seems, in the world is next. Scott?
I put Vucevic. Simon Vucevic.
So you got as well, Mike? Yeah.
Can get that on camera.
Simon Vucevic is correct. And then the last one, which I thought was a little bit easier.
Yeah.
The Australian.
It's the mighty Vince Grella.
The mighty Vince Grella is correct.
Yeah. Mm.
So that's 4-2 in that round, I make it.
Yeah, I literally spent 2 minutes staring at Tanana, then I couldn't take my eyes off it. It was outrageous.
Vince Grella. Let's move on to the next round, which is Wish You Were Here. It's a vintage edition this week. This is where I show you pictures of grounds. The theme this week is that Rovers have been to all these grounds, but they no longer are grounds, so they're old ones. Does that make sense? The teams have moved stadium, basically.
All right.
These are the older ones. So I'm not looking for the stadium names. I'm looking for the team.
Okay.
Okay. So who played at that ground? So which team played at that ground?
Isn't that just like Walsall now?
I'd say that's, well, yeah. Some of these are rotten, but
But sorry, Andy, just checking. We've played there, obviously. I'm guessing.
yeah. So Rovers have played. It might not have looked exactly like this at the time. I couldn't match up the years necessarily to make it exact, but I'm pretty certain that it wouldn't have looked too dissimilar to this when we have played there in the past. this looks like, from what I know of this particular club, that it was probably late 80s that this was taken, or mid 80s perhaps. Right. Question number 20. Next one. Which team played here? This is obviously must be pre-90s as well because of the terracing that you can see on the side.
Good quiz, this, Andy.
Can I shake hands on a point now so I don't have to bother answering them?
It's a bit, I suppose it is a bit sketchy in a way to put these in a Rovers quiz. They're not exactly that connected, are they? But
Something different though. Bit of fun.
question 21.
Is it bad that I'm writing these answers down and genuinely can't remember the teams changing grounds at any point?
If that is, I mean, a few of these, yeah, I'm not going to say anymore actually. I might end up giving clues out that I don't need to. Question 22. I'm not sure how clear these come through on your screen.
Yeah, they're all right, Andy. I can see them. Yeah.
Not actually sure that me seeing him is any of great benefit to me anyway, to be honest. But
You're 5 points clear. You can't be behind coming out with this round, Mike. You'll be all right.
it's all I needed to hear really at this point. That's fine.
Question 23 then. The last one of these. I'll be very interested to see if anyone at home gets these. I'd say a lot of are guessable, but you may have been there yourselves, especially fans of a certain vintage may have been to all these grounds. It wasn't that long ago that we played in some of these. Certainly in our lifetimes. I'd say all of them were in our lifetimes. Well, they definitely were because I was looking at the seasons. Okay, so we'll start with the first one, which was a red and white sort of seating. Scott, did you get that first one?
Southampton.
Mike?
No, went totally the way. Bristol City.
Yeah, it's Southampton. That far side you can see is the sloping side.
Yeah,
later
it got covered. Got covered. Yeah, later on.
But you can just see at the back there as well. It says Draper Tool hire, and that was, I guess, a bit of a clue.
You could have drawn an arrow to that just to help.
The next one was also reddish. A lot of red around there. Mike, did you get that one?
No. I had a complete guess at Sunderland, and I don't know why.
Scott?
I put Middlesbrough.
One of those is right. It's Sunderland. It's Roker Park.
Mikey.
Well, you say that, but I just guessed. I had no idea.
The next one was a bluer one. It's terrible ground. They've got a nice shiny new one now, but they went through a long time without having a home. Anyone get it?
I had a guess at Brighton.
I put Cardiff. I was torn between Cardiff and Brighton.
The other one as well, you can just see down there in the bottom corner is the Brighton badge.
Oh, yeah. I saw the red and thought it was some Welsh kind of.
So that was the Goldstone ground. You got that, Mike? Yeah.
I did. Yeah. It was just literally. I remember it being an absolute shed. The old ground. So
it's horrible, isn't it?
Yeah.
The next one was possibly, I'd say, the most gettable of all of them. It's probably the most recent photo as well. Anyone any idea on that?
Is it Millwall by any chance?
It wasn't Millwall.
Leicester.
Yeah, it was Filbert Street.
Of
and
course.
again, There's LG over there, and there's Walker's crisps just in the middle.
Yeah. Yeah. Last time I went there was the time that Flitcroft got outed as a love rat about 10
Oh,
minutes
yeah.
before.
And the last one was somewhere we played in the playoffs in 91-92.
I put Derby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The baseball
I got
ground.
that one.
Did you get that one, Mike?
Derby, yeah.
So 3-3 there.
I kept on wanting to put Bradford because of the hideous yellow and brown.
Oh,
sort of
yeah.
colour
Yeah, I
back.
didn't see that, yeah. Yeah. So all those teams now have been moved on to pastures new. The penultimate round actually is so I've split a couple of eras up. The next semi-final will get the Souness era. This semi-final gets the Dalglish era. Obviously quite timely in a way. We've obviously had a week of celebrations, it seems like, of the title win in 95. So this takes us back from 91 to 95, really. Hopefully it's something that's within a lot of people's wheelhouses. Let's get straight into it with question number 24. What position did we occupy? I don't need the division. We all know it was Division 2, but what position were we in when he took over? And I'm judging that as just before the Plymouth game. Plymouth was his first game, I think. Question 25. He won his first game at home to Plymouth. How many league matches, though, did we win consecutively at home following Dalglish's appointment? So Plymouth was number 1. How many did we go winning each league match at home? I've tried to purposely make these a bit difficult because I think this is an era that a lot of people know a lot about, so they're a bit obscure, possibly.
You've got to be spot on, obviously, with the number.
We're including the. Okay, fair enough. We're not. I was going to say we're including the Plymouth game. Okay,
yeah.
Fair
So
enough.
Plymouth was 1. The next one would have been 2. I'll tell you, there's at least 2.
Okay.
We did lose away matches quite early on in his tenure, but there was a bit of a run at home anyway. It doesn't include cup matches. Okay, question 26. Moving into 92-93, ASICS were the shirt manufacturers that season and then for a couple of seasons subsequently. But what country are ASICS based in? What is their where are they registered? Sticking to the 92-93 season for question 27, what linked the two teams that we lost to in the domestic cup competitions that season? Obviously, by which I mean the League Cup and the FA Cup. I don't know who the League Cup was sponsored by then.
Coca-Cola.
Was that the first year of their sponsorship? Because Rumbelows, was it before that? Or?
I think I just I keep on hearing Rumbelows in my head for some reason, but it's probably not right.
I think so. Yeah, moving forward in time again. Which team did? Well, I'm not sure it is forward. Maybe it isn't. Which team did we sign Henning Berg from? Speaking of Henning Berg, he did a long interview with the club from his little Cyprus flat. I don't know if you've watched that. It's on YouTube somewhere. It's definitely.
I saw a clip. I only saw a clip of it. Yeah.
Speaks for a long time. He basically gets asked one question and then he's still talking 15 minutes later. It's longer than he managed for, actually.
Like Tony Mowbray.
I saw a stat today where we've been in lockdown as long as Henning Berg was in charge of Rovers now. Next question 29. Who was Rovers chairman for almost all of Dalglish's reign? Question number 30. Who was Shearer's first goal against in the 93-94 season? So this was obviously after he came back from his first serious knee injury. And that's like, it was amazing. I don't know how much you remember of that particular time, but as soon as he came back, he just blew everybody away again, didn't he? He just went on a mad scoring spree. I was researching obviously for this, and there's a period just after he came back that he just scored. I think he scored in 6 consecutive matches, and then 3 of those were braces, and then just went on and on and on and scored bucket loads. 34, I think he got.
I think it was one of those when everyone was like, just give him some time. It'll take him some time to get up to speed. Yeah. And it was like, oh, never mind that. It was,
Yeah. That was Dalglish as well. Dalglish eased him in, didn't he?
Well, it is the Dalglish era, Scott, we're talking about. So the next one is, alongside Chris Sutton, who did we pay fees for in the 94-95 season? So there was a couple of free transfers in there, but who did we actually pay some money to get? There's 2 players, 2 points for this. This includes pre-season as well. So Sutton was obviously brought in before the season started, and some others were.
So this is just, I know it probably sounds a bit of a stupid thing, but this is literally pre-season 94 rather than the summer that followed it, yeah?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. And I'm sorry, that probably sounds a bit dumb.
And the final, no, there's 2 more questions in this regular bit of the quiz. So question 32, who scored the last minute equaliser for Leeds at Elland Road in the run-in? It was on Easter Saturday. It was a 1-1 scoreline. And the final question in this regular part of the quiz is, only one player this is from Wikipedia, so hopefully it's right. Only one player started all 42 Premier League games in 94-95. Who was it? Okay, so that was 33 questions on Blackburn Rovers. Let's have a look at these questions from the Dalglish era and see if we've got any answers here. So the first one was, what position were we in when Dalglish took over? Anybody got a guess? Or maybe even knows the answer?
I said 19th.
It's not
I went 17.
11th we were.
Oh, okay. Really?
We'd won 4, lost 3 and drawn 3.
Because Tony Parks brought us up a bit, I presume.
Yeah. I think we were 19th, weren't we, when... Is it Mackay who got... No. Yeah. Got let go, was it Mackay? And then we'd won a couple of games. I think we won the subsequent one before Dalglish took over. Anyway, it was 11th.
I thought we were in more of a dire straits than that, actually, funny enough.
Yeah, so did I. But I looked at the league table. The next one is the number of consecutive wins we managed to get. as a guess again, probably. But
I went with. I couldn't make my mind up. But I went with 10.
you're going to
I
kick
said 6.
11.
Ah.
We
Thievery.
won every game up until February, and then we went on that 6-match losing streak straight after that. 11. Unlucky, mate.
That's outrageous.
The A6 question: what country?
It's Japanese.
It is Japanese.
Oh, it is. Well done, Mikey. I put Italy.
It used to be the Onitsuka Corporation, then it changed. It got merged and became A6 in 1977. The link between the two clubs, Scott?
Sheffield.
Yes, they were both Sheffield clubs. United and Wednesday. Yep. Thanks, Mike.
Well, but Sheffield based just to
Yeah.
help.
That was a good season in the Cups. It was quarterfinals, wasn't it, in the FA Cup and semi-finals in the League Cup.
Luckily, I didn't live in Sheffield then. Otherwise, that would have been amazing hell. Put it that way.
Who did we sign Henningberg from? Mike,
I think it was Lillestrøm, wasn't it?
Yeah, Lillestrøm. That's right. Who was the chairman for the most of Dalglish's reign, Scott?
Bill Fox.
Bill Fox was there when he started, but was taken over by Robert Core. Robert Core, yeah. So Bill Fox was there at the presentation. Then I think it was later that season actually that Robert Core took over.
Thank you very much to Rovers social media legend Vinjay for having a yell at me the other week about Robert Core, which just jogged that memory on that one.
Who did Shearer score against his first goals in 93-94?
Geordies.
It was Newcastle.
Yeah. I was just wondering if there was a cup game before that, but
no. There might have been. I didn't specify league, but I meant league. So you both got it, so it didn't make a difference.
This was the 1-1 game, wasn't it?
Sorry?
This was the 1-1 game, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did he come off the bench to score it?
I think so. Yeah.
The two players then that we paid a fee for. One was very late on in the season.
Yeah.
Scott, do you want to?
I went for Kenner.
Yeah.
And I went for Robbie Slater.
Mike?
Couldn't get the second one. I got Jeff Kenner, and then I couldn't make my mind up, so I put nothing, and I thought it might be Matty Holmes, but then that was the season after, wasn't it?
Yeah, Robbie Slater, 300,000 apparently from Lens. And then, the other one. So then we move on to who scored for Leeds. Do you remember?
I don't know, but I had a guess at Rod Wallace.
I put Brian Dean.
Brian Dean it was, 90th minute. We had a player sent off, I think, early on in that game. And the final one, who started all 42 Premier League games? It wasn't Tim Flowers, if anyone's got that.
No, it wasn't. I don't know, so I just put Ripley.
I think it's Shearer.
It's Alan Shearer.
Yeah.
Savage.
So I make that 7-6 in that round, Scott, which makes it 36-32, which means that we have, and Mike, you may not have seen this since you've not seen the last couple, but the dare duel is worth 5 points. So it comes down to this, basically. The question is, who, basically the Rovers players that have scored in Lancashire derbies since 2010. So I've narrowed it down to Preston, Wigan, Bolton and Burnley, rather than having Blackpool in there and a couple of others that you may not class as Lancashire. So I'll give you a few minutes. So this is since 2010, so it includes a couple of Premier League seasons, but obviously mainly in the Championship and League One. Preston, Wigan, Bolton and Burnley. It does include cup matches. And own goals don't count. So if you had, for instance,
wounded.
Steve Davis scoring an own goal for Burnley, although that wasn't in this era anyway. But just Rovers players who scored legitimate goals. So for those of you watching at home who may not have seen the Dare Duel before, it's basically, I'm going to ask Scott, because he's behind, to name as many, well, to ask him to guess at how many players he might be able to name who fit this criteria. Mike will then either ask him to name those players, or you can overbid him, and then they can bid between each other until someone says you can name them. May sway you to find that out of all 4 that I've done so far, no one's actually been able to name what they've said.
It's so easy to trip up, isn't it?
I know. I'm totally lost on the brain here. I've blanked.
Okay, so we'll start the bidding. Scott?
Go on then. I'll only start on 4. See how he reacts.
Okay, 4.
I'll tentatively up you to 5.
Mike
Go on, I'll
says
go
5.
6.
Scott 6.
Ah.
It's
7.
It's funny how the mind goes blank, isn't it? 7, did you say, Mike? Yeah.
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 Go on, I'll try 8.
I feel like we're getting into dangerous territory now.
I'm going to be really brave and say 9.
Go on, name them, Mikey. If you get them, it's yours. The final is yours.
Funny, but the weird thing is I've come up with a backup 10th that I know, but the 9th I'm not sure of. So this could be interesting. So Jordan Rhodes.
Let's set this up then. So Mike is 4 points in front at the moment. He could have allowed Scott to name 8, but he's gone for 9. You've started with Jordan Rhodes, who obviously famously scored against Burnley a couple of times, so that's a safe one, yeah.
Best goal, off his shin, beautiful. I'm leaning heavily on the Bolton game. We won 4-1, so Dave Dunn,
yeah,
Corey Evans,
yeah,
with that deflected thing. Elliot Bennett scored against Preston. Craig Conway scored in that 2-2 game against Preston.
Yeah.
Lord Bradley of Dak scored in that Bolton game at their ground.
That puts you on 6.
Then amazing scenes. Ben Brereton.
Yeah.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but Elliot Ward scored against Preston when Duffy got sent off.
I did not think that anyone would get that, but that puts you on 8. So just wait a second. Let's build up the tension, if there is any. That's 8. You need 1 more.
And I think Adam Armstrong.
Which game?
I want to say it was against Bolton last year in that 2-0 game, but I'm not sure.
I think he did score then, but the one that sticks in my mind for this is the Wigan game that we got. We went 2-0 up and they drew 2-2 with us when we were going for the title in League One. But Adam Armstrong is correct. You've got 9. That's all you needed to get. Congratulations. That puts you on 41. Ahead of Scott on 32. What a great battle. Thank you for that. I will put them all up. Was there any that you got, Scott, that Mike didn't say?
Well, I got Yakubu, Tommy Spur, and Ben Brereton, and Zonzi. But there was a few matches which I just, that 4-1 and just slipped my mind.
Funny enough, Scott, I got none of those you've just mentioned.
The most recent was Sam Gallagher from the 3-2 turnaround at Preston.
Yeah. Funnily enough, the only other one I wasn't sure on was Josh King. I think he scored in that 4-1 game, but wasn't certain.
Josh King's
Danny Graham as well.
Danny Graham as well.
Danny.
Yeah. So I'll put them all up there. It started with Morton Gantz Pedersen back in the Premier League days. Nikola Kalinic, the aforementioned Nikola Kalinic. Robert Scales-Givet. Mami Biram Diouf, who's popped up again today. Samba, Olsen, Hoylett.
So many.
Do we get fired as Blackburn fans for not mentioning Dave Dunn?
You did mention David Dunn, didn't you?
Oh, I did. Sorry. Do you know what? In my head, because of the Bolton game, not because of the most famous incident going.
Yeah, Rudiger stayed in there, Tom Kearney, Ben Marshall got a brace in one of the games. Marvin Emnes even makes it onto the list. Good to see. Right, what a great contest. Thank you guys for your time.
Yeah.
And
cheers, Andy, again. Brilliant as ever. Enjoyed it.
No problem. As long as you enjoyed yourselves. And hopefully you guys at home, those of you who've stuck with us, have enjoyed that as well. We'll be seeing Mikey again in 4 weeks, as long as you're up for that, Mike.
Well, I've just about recovered by then, but yeah.
Yeah, well done. That was a really good quality quiz. I'd love to know what your final scores were at home as well, and how you did on that day duel if you had a go at it. There's obviously quite a few there that the lads didn't mention. We do have a viewer's question, actually, before you go. If you want to have a go at this alongside me. The question is, there was 11 players who scored in the Premier League for Rovers during the title season. Can you name the 11 players? So Shearer, obviously, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to verge a guess at Sutton as well.
Good, yeah. Sutton.
Wilcox, Sherwood.
Atkins.
Hendry.
Henningberg.
Hendry.
Graham Lasso. Jack Kenner, famously. Yeah. Kevin Gallagher, famously.
So that puts us on 10.
Did Pearce bag?
No, I don't think he did.
No, I'm thinking of the year. He scored at West Ham, didn't he? But I've got the wrong season.
Own goals, can we have that?
Warhurst?
I think it's a genuine player.
Oh, Warhurst, of course, against United. The big
Warhurst.
chip. Yeah.
I'm glad we didn't try this round for the betting. That would have gone worse.
Yeah. No, that was just for fun. I do have the answers here. We've got them all. Shearer 34, Sutton 15, Atkins 6, Sherwood 5, Wilcox 5, Hendry 4. The player who most people would probably guess is Ripley. He didn't get that one. Newell didn't get one. Pearce, Batty. Anyway, thank you for that. Jonathan, who's going to be in 2 weeks' time, is going to be in your seat. So I might be playing you. A reminder at the app, the link for the Sporting Memories Foundation, if you have a couple of quid to spare. I know it's hard times at the moment with the uncertainty, but I hope everyone's getting through it okay and everyone's families are well. And hopefully we'll see you all in 2 weeks' time for another edition of the quiz. And then again in another 2 weeks from that for the final. Congratulations to Mike. Commiserations to Scott. I hope you've enjoyed it. And we'll see you next time.
Thanks, guys.